Welcome to this News 9 special with me, Nabila. It wasn't long ago since there were controversies around cricketer Mohammad Shami after he had posted a picture of his wife without a hijab. Today, another Indian cricketer, Irfan Pathan, gets trolled on social media quite severely there for his wife's attire. Yes, social media at it again. Take a look.
Irfan Pathan gets trolled on social media. Irfan condemned for not controlling his wife. Yes, Irfan Pathan's new picture with his wife on Facebook has received quite some criticism. The Indian cricketer was severely trolled on social media after he posted the picture of him and his wife, which showed his wife wearing nail polish along with her hijab. Even though Irfan's wife, Safa Beg, to whom he got married to in February 2016, can be seen wearing a burqa in the photograph, her exposed hands and nail polish has enraged many fans who have posted some ridiculous comments criticizing the cricketer. Extremists expressed their disregard for the photos posted. Some were enraged as well. Some posted aggressively, while others advised him to keep his wife covered up. The Indian pacer married his wife Sana, a model born and raised in Jeddah. Sana was working in Dubai before getting married to the popular Indian cricketer. While many of them criticized the picture, there were many others who were in support of the couple too, calling the couple incredibly cute and adorable. It was not just Irfan Pathan. Last year, cricketer Mohammad Shami too was trolled for posting a picture with his wife without a hijab. Mohammad Shami trolled for his wife's sleeveless gown. Well, last year, even Mohammad Shami, India's top pacer, was trolled for uploading a picture with his wife without a burqa. The photograph with his wife received shocking attacks from extremists as the picture showed Shami's wife in a sleeveless gown. A lot of them posted that Mohammad Shami should ensure his wife, Haseen Jahan, wears a hijab rather than clicking photos in a sleeveless outfit. Even though Mohammad Shami was good on the field, the criticism that was flowing in got him in the eye. Mohammad Shami couldn't do much until former Indian cricketer Mohammad Kaif came to his support.
The comments are really shameful. Support Mohammad Shami completely. There are much bigger issues in this country. Hope sense prevails.
Saudi cops arrest a woman for defying dress code. Across borders, a Saudi woman was arrested for defying the country's strict dress code by walking around in a mini skirt and crop top in a video that sparked public outrage. The woman was detained by the police in the capital, Riyadh, for wearing immodest clothes that contradicted the country's conservative Islamic dress code on Tuesday. A News 9 report.
Well, quite literally there, nail polish, not under my burqa, but nail polish with my burqa would be a little more appropriate or inappropriate. We're a little confused about that. We're not too sure about what Islamic scholars think. Of course, I personally do know that in Islam, they don't encourage you to wear nail polish there. Right, that's not funny. But my point is, they say that when you're praying namaz, your wuzu does not, your wuzu is not complete if your nail polish is on your nails, because it does not touch, water does not touch your nails, and therefore you cannot pray namaz. So yeah, those are the basics, but the kind of trolls that Irfan Pathan and Mohammad Shami had to face is quite sad. What do you think? How do you think that Irfan Pathan and his wife should really respond to trolls of this nature? Call us on 080-2236-030203 or WhatsApp us on the given numbers to tell us a little more, give us a little clarity on what does Islam speak of and what sort of trolls, how should these trolls be dealt with? We have a panel of guests joining us, of course, religious thinker Umar Shariff, thank you so much. We also have Farhan, who is an entrepreneur himself who will be able to tell us a little more about the rules or the guidelines that Islam has set. We have Farhan's wife joining us, who's an entrepreneur, Aisha. Thank you so much, Aisha. We also have Munazza, a lawyer, joining us. Thank you, Munazza. We also have Nagma, who's a stylist herself, joining us. All of them here are Muslims and understand what Islam really talks about. We also have a guest from Belagavi joining us, Seema, live from Belagavi, to tell us a little more. We'll, of course, first start with Umar Shariff. Umar Shariff, what does Islam say, first of all, about nail polish? And this is not just nail polish as at the focus here, but the fact that, look at her hands, she's kept her hands up and the hijab has gone a little, the sleeves have gone a little down, so her from the elbow to her hand to her palm is visible and her nail polish is visible. Okay. The kind of trolls is ridiculous, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I happened to see that picture which was shared. I was trying to find out that there's so many things to look at and appreciate, in the sense the positivity.
Yes.
When she happened to come from a different background of being a model, and now she's in hijab.
Yes.
And at the same time in the picture, if at all you happen to see, she's covering her face. And in the process, the nail polish is visible. So nail polish per se, it is not something which is forbidden. But the thing is, as you rightly said, if one has to pray, he or she has to perform the ablution. That is the ritual of cleansing oneself, the hands and face and everything.
Yeah.
So in that context, if a person, while making ablution, if the water does not touch the nail, the ablution is not complete. So what she could have, or she is probably doing, could be that she is applying the nail polish now, and there is a thinner, maybe in the next 2 hours she can wipe them off and she can perform the prayer, and again she can apply, and this is a way that one can do it. I mean, there's no any straight command from the Quran or the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ to say that nail polish is haram. There's nothing of that kind. So we cannot go to that context. But at the same time, I would like to say, these people who are trolling and they are using abusive languages and slandering, these are all clear-cut haram things, clear-cut forbidden things in Islam. See, to say and talk about a personal, practice or an individual's way of life, there's a code of conduct to discuss. That which is very clearly evident that the people who are trolling, they are not religiously well informed. They are not people with good caliber. They don't know how to engage in discussions. So we are coming from a social scenario wherein we attend weddings, and in the weddings we come across people who are wearing niqab, people who are not wearing niqab, people who are wearing only salwar kameez, people who are left their hair let loose amongst the women.
Yes, I mean, I'm telling you, in my family myself, I have quite a mix. I mean, I don't wear the hijab, and I have people in my own family wearing full burqa, covered their face as well. Then there are people who keep their face open. Then there are people who wear modest clothes like salwar kameez, like full covered, but not covering their hair, or maybe just lightly covering their hair. True. All sorts. We've seen all sorts, right?
At the end of the day, what I'm trying to say, it's a personal choice. At the end of the day, he or she or whatever a person is practicing, it's left to that individual. And if somebody wants to share one's knowledge about hijab, one can have a personal discussion if the person is interested. Not that you go on commenting in a very ruthless manner, without having the code of conduct of discussion, and that is totally unacceptable, irrespective of what she's doing. So that is where I come from. I'm trying to say, irrespective of what she is doing, no one has got the right to use such languages in the social forum or otherwise. As you rightly said, in the wedding halls, we come across women of various way of observing.
All sorts of.
We never come across the religious personalities, be it ulama or the scholars, going and talking and pinpointing at anybody who is not wearing hijab and saying, you are not supposed to be like this. We haven't come across that. So we can very well assure that these trolls which we can see, these are not coming from the ulama.
Well, but I'll tell you very honestly, there are even very honestly speaking, at weddings, there are people who even come up to you and tell you. Okay. There are the sort, I've sort of faced it, but I'm not, I don't want to be dissing it, but somebody actually came up to me and said,
what does it mean?
That means
what does that mean?
You're Muslim and oh my God, this is not
What
done.
does that mean? I mean, what does that?
I said, Kya ye? What does that mean?
What does that mean?
You should tell me. Kya ye?
No, I don't understand.
Well, I don't know what that
this
means.
Code
but
language.
I mean, of course, I respect those who wear it. But I mean, where do you possibly draw the line? Number one. Number two, maybe this the kind of trolls after Irfan Pathan here is because he is an idol figure. He is a person who influences people. So for him to be putting up a picture like that means that he's setting an example, and therefore as a Muslim you should be careful what you say, what you do. How come nobody goes and tells anything to Amir Khan's wife, Shah Rukh Khan's wife, Shah Rukh Khan himself, Amir Khan himself? I don't understand. But why Irfan Pathan? I'm just assuming. I'm just trying to compare. Then we have Mohammed Shami also, who Shami put his wife and his picture along with the kid, and Shami's wife was wearing a sleeveless gown. So, oh my God, the kind of trolls post that. It's quite sad. And ultimately, Irfan Pathan, Mohammed Shami are people who believe, who have faith, who pray, all that. I mean, we've seen enough and more proof of that. So for them, it sort of hits hard. It hurts when somebody... When you are Muslim and an Islamic scholar tells you that you are going against Islam, and it is...
There's no scholar who's mentioning against him.
We don't know. I mean, okay, maybe not scholar, some say fanatics, some say extremists,
You say
all
that.
sorts,
You
right?
say whatever is
Extremists.
that kind.
Okay, not scholars. We don't know. I don't know.
Scholars don't engage.
11,000 comments. 11,000 comments on that picture. So I really don't know how many scholars in that. But okay. Extremists, okay, all of them saying that you're an example, you're setting an example, how can you do this? And for a Muslim, it's a little hard to digest that when your own people say that you are a bad example. It's, or any religion for that matter, anybody from any religion, their own people trolling them for not being part of the religion and going against, being un-Islamic is quite heavy to deal with. But I don't know what's right, what's wrong. If you can be a little more clear to us, we'll come back to our other guests, the ladies joining us here after a short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're coming back to Farhan. Let's go over to Farhan to tell us a little more. Farhan, what do you think of all the trolls there for a person who's been raised with Islamic faith? What's your take on this?
First of all, see, the people are passing the comment that first thing Islam says ki when you see somebody not wearing the hijab and all, you lower your eyes, sight and go. You're not supposed to pass comment. You are not have authority to pass anybody comment. So if a Irfan Pathan wife put with the hand with the nail polish, not putting the full hijab and all this thing, then why you are giving so much deep look?
Why are you looking at his wife in the first place?
First
what you're trying to say. Okay.
See, he did a mistake. He put a wife photograph and all this thing.
He did a mistake. When you say mistake, what is that?
The thing like the one thing, I'll tell you. When you are a very famous person, right, and people are following you, your responsibility get increased. If I'm keeping beard and if I start fighting on the street, people can point out directly to me, I'm a Muslim. If I have clean shape, putting a jeans, t-shirt and all, you can't make out I'm Muslim, Christian and who is fighting on the street. But once you take a look and tag of the Muslim thing, then your responsibility increases too much. Then you have to really little bit careful. Then when you are famous, then Irfan Pathan has to think about, okay, if I put like that, because everybody not educated. People can think different way, okay, maybe nail polish is allowed in Islam, or maybe when you are praying namaz, that time also allowed. So it goes little bit wrong message, but I'm not telling you what she did is wrong or right, but if you see the logical way, I feel that famous people have to have a little bit control on their
control. Okay.
Control on their posting and wording and all that, because people follow.
So you call this a mistake, the picture a mistake?
I can say because he's very famous, he has to definitely, because people follow him. Definitely people want to see Bollywood. If you see the hero and heroine.
But my only question to you is how, since he's Muslim and people who are following him may also be Muslim, how is that picture sending out a wrong message? Don't you think women sometimes, well, they say don't wear nail polish because it does not complete your wuzu. You can't pray namaz with nail polish. But usually, I'm being quite honest, in your cycle of periods, women can't pray namaz, and that time they can wear nail polish. Possibly this is around that time.
Yeah, correct. Or maybe no, she put and going and saying remove and all these things she can do.
Yeah, maybe she's put it to go out and then come back home,
or
remove it
also
and pray
if
namaz.
You see that.
So how is it a mistake?
No, if you see, I'm not telling that way mistake. I'm telling you when uneducated people see all this thing, Okay, they don't have the Islamic knowledge also, how you have or you are talking about, you know all this thing, right?
I mean, I know this. I don't know all of that. I don't know. I know this.
All Muslim, any religious person, either they're Hindu, Muslim or Christian, they have the basic knowledge. But basically those who are sitting in a society and study people, educated people, they know that. But maximum people, those who are staying in village and all, they don't have the basic knowledge of other. So when they basically follow the hero and heroine style and all, they do the same thing. So when they see, okay, Irfan Pathan wife wearing the hijab, putting the nail polish, maybe few people also try to do that. So there what happened, if they put a namaz, putting the nail polish and do, that time definitely their namaz will not happen.
Okay, then we understood. But
yeah, but I'm telling you, this is a personal issue. Irfan Pathan wife putting nail polish or not. First of all, the things, if I'm Muslim, I'm not supposed to go in somebody's wife so closely, ki, how, which color and how much. This is not allowed to do all this.
So you're saying as any one of those in that list and the troll list are Muslims, and they're first of all not supposed to be looking at somebody else's wife.
Correct.
Commenting is the last.
Correct. That is wrong. Totally wrong.
Wrong. All right. But I still somehow can't get over the fact that you called it a mistake, because the lady, like Umar Shariff said, the lady is from a background, I mean, she was a model, we understand in the past, and now she's wearing a hijab. So that itself is exceptional, you know, transformation. It's amazing. Number one. Number two, I mean, she's even covering her face. I mean, it's playful in the picture, but she's covering her face, and by chance the nail polish gets visible. But I don't think that's setting any wrong example. I don't think so, but you can clarify me, to the Islamic community at large. Let's find out from Aisha. Aisha, what do you think about this picture, this particular picture that you see on your television
To begin
screen?
with, I really like your topic, nail polish under my burqa.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was a film, lipstick under my burqa, so we took it off that. Yeah.
I didn't see that. But I really like this. See, a journey for a woman from being a non-hijabi to a hijabi, okay, it's a very big process. Okay, it's a process that a woman who has not been practicing hijab to a woman who is starting to practice a hijab. Okay, that is a very confusing journey.
Right.
There are so many ups and downs. There are so many, okay, let me do it, let me not do it kind of moments. Okay, and while this is happening, there has to be a positive outlook, there has to be a positive encouragement coming out, especially from your own people.
Correct. Very
Okay.
true.
For me, as you know, when I started off, I was pretty much dressed like you. I was in a corporate field myself. Okay, from that to this look, it took me a lot of time. Okay, it took me a lot of time. There are still moments. Let me do this. Let me not do this. So that confusing journey can only be a very successful one if I get that support from my own people.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, if I am being criticized, okay, on my face, that you're just not the right kind of a person who can be called a nice Muslim or a face of Muslim, then it would only discourage me and set me back. I cannot move forward with my religion.
Correct.
Because I am completely confused here. Okay, so when you are trying to pass on a message to me, you please be polite enough. Okay, because your politeness will get me far better than a word of criticism.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay,
Encouragement
so you
always
have
boosts
that, yeah.
anyone.
So all these trolls who are out there trying to, I don't know what they're trying to prove out over there.
That
because-
Irfan Pathan is setting the wrong example for being Muslim.
I don't know how they are setting the right example
Very true.
by using such abusive languages against a woman whom they don't even know. She could have done just the noblest of deeds in the whole world that none of us know of.
Correct.
Okay, and just because she is wearing a nail polish doesn't make her a very bad person.
Correct.
So why are we calling her all names? We just don't get that. So is our society trying to make a worse out of a person, or is our society bringing out the worst from a person? You get that? If you're trying to get a person into the folds of religion and follow Islam the way it should be followed, the way it was supposed to be followed, then you please be polite enough and hold the hand firm, okay, and not just pull them down by criticizing them, by calling them names. That does not happen. Okay, I should say I'm very, thankful, because I have a husband who's very supportive of that, because my journey from a non-hijabi to a hijabi has been supported by him.
Right.
He is not curbed it on me. He is not
I
said
was just
no.
about to ask you, did you do it out of your own will?
It is
or
of my
were
own.
You...
It is of my own, Nabila, and I feel liberated after following this. Okay, it is not because it has curbed me in any way. I don't feel less beautiful. I don't feel less attractive. It has, in fact, liberated me as a person. Okay, so I feel this is exactly what is me, and this is what is to be, this is how it's supposed to be.
And say for that matter, I'm just asking you, for that matter, your children, they are exposed to the outside world and they don't wear a hijab and they would love to wear their makeup, their jeans, their all of that. Would you enforce it?
Yeah, I have a 13-year-old girl, okay. It is probably because she has seen me wearing hijab.
Yes.
Okay, my sisters don't practice hijab.
Your sisters don't?
My sisters don't, okay. Some of my family members do, like you said. So there are some of my family members who really practice hijab to the last, the gloves and socks and types. To the people who are like me, to the people who are very modestly dressed with full sleeved hand and all those, completely the way it should be.
Right.
Now, my 13-year-old girl loves to wear a jean. She loves to wear a shirt. But she says, Mama, I will look probably good if I cover my hair.
Okay.
Okay, from there it started. I said, yes, you can do that. But I did not comment on her jean. Okay, neither did I comment on her shirt because I didn't want to take it negatively.
Right.
She is trying to reach there. So let me just, this is that journey that a woman has to cover, feeling beautiful from inside.
Absolutely.
Right? So we have to be supportive of that fact. Today she says, okay, I'm ready to wear a hijab. Okay, on her own.
She says, okay.
Yeah, she says that, okay? Because it is not because we have enforced it on her. She says, I'm ready to do this.
She's watched you, she's learned, she's understood. And since there's no force, I think it comes naturally sometimes. Yeah, I guess. It's how you've been raised. Well, let's go over to Seema, who's been waiting to comment on the same. Seema is joining us from Belagavi. Seema, thank you so much for joining us. Let's listen into your views, Seema, on this particular image that you see of Irfan Pathan and his wife.
Actually, if you study the society, there are so many girls wearing makeup and nail polish. Not only a Muslim ladies. If you see all the religions are same. Only Muslim religion cannot wear. It has been not written anywhere, not in any Quran, not in any Hadith. It has been not written anywhere. Simply making an issue out of this topic, it is not really so mandatory, Before the topic was people talaq, there was so many issues on it. Why all the time these Muslim people are dragging? Why you people are dragging the Muslim people only on the social media? We are not able to understand.
Go on.
Is it necessary? Is it necessary? So all the time you are dragging the Muslim people. Sometimes people talaq, sometimes nail polish, sometimes burqa, naqab. See, all the Muslim people know to protect themselves.
Right.
There are so many people like Hajis, Maulvis, Muftis. They are there to guide them. And who has given the rights to speak about some lady that she is wearing burqa? She is not wearing burqa. She is wearing lipstick, kajal, surma, and nail polish. This is all very small topic, which is coming into the media. It is very ridiculous, I feel.
Well, we picked it from social media, and then we've made it a point of talk because we thought it was about time. I think it's about time that we actually have a talk about this. Why this kind of trolls? Because Mohammed Shami as well, his wife wore sleeveless. That picture, my God, the kind of backlash that he received. It's quite sad because, well, ultimately they've really made us proud with their game and their skills. But, too bad that just because of the picture that he put, he lost a few fans.
What I feel, being as a responsible citizen of India, what I feel, there are so many celebrities. Okay, they come with so many Western dress, Western cultures. If we don't support them, coming with the Western culture, it is not always bad message. See, look at the generation gap. We cannot be lag behind. The Muslim ladies cannot lag behind. Okay, even we have a rights to come up. We have a rights to live openly. We have rights to have education.
Seema, I'd like you to
get
explain
all
a
the
little
rights.
bit about. I'd like you to explain a little bit about what is we'd like to come up. What is we'd like to be? We'd like to catch up with the times. Does that mean that wearing? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but does that mean that not wearing makeup and not wearing a hijab will actually keep you back in time?
No, I did not mean that. What I mean to tell, see, wearing hijab and wearing nail polish, it not indicate a bad Muslims or a good Muslims.
Right.
Okay, like men's, they are wearing they are wearing good attire and living dadi and all. They are Muslims, not like that. Hindu also doing the same thing, Muslim also doing the same thing, Christians also doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Don't notify the Muslim and Hindu wearing burqa or wearing nail polish or wearing dadi or wearing goggles. It is not necessary to find out like this. This is very wrong actually. All the Muslim people, they know how to live actually. See, since from so many years in India, this is in a democratic country. Whereas if you have a small topic also, they will come into the media. I don't think so. Okay, itna chota topic you are dragging. It is very small topic, to drag.
It is, but I'd still like you to explain what you meant by we want to catch up with the times. We also want to catch up with the times. What does that mean?
I didn't get you, sorry.
You said we also want to grow. What does that mean when you said we also want to grow?
Yes, no, I said even Muslim ladies are having rights to grow up. Grow up means
but that's what I'm trying to ask you. Is anybody controlling you or stopping you from growing with a hijab and without makeup?
No, nobody. See, there are some people in our. Let it be about the other people. In our caste only, there are so many people. I want to really speak to them. I want to pass on the message also. Stop harassing the ladies. Just stop it. They don't have any rights to tell her that whether she want to wear the nail polish or no. Who are there to guide? Okay.
But then maybe like all the trollers here, they're saying that wearing nail polish, wearing makeup, how can you do that, because you're setting a wrong example. Islam does not allow its women to color themselves up to the point of luring.
Where it has been written. Show me in which book, which religion book it has been mentioned that we do not wear the lipstick, do not wear the nail polish.
Well, I don't know if religious book mentions that you can't wear lipstick and nail polish, because the terms itself are not even defined back in the day. But one thing that we do understand is, if we really interpret what the Quran says, from what I understand, I think it says that you need to be modestly dressed, you need to cover your hair, you need to do all of that, because you don't want to be luring or gathering attention, or male attention specifically. I think let's go over to Umar. Umar, a quick word on that. What does Islam say? I mean, why does it say, or why do mullahs say don't wear makeup, nail polish, all of this? Nail polish we understand because of wuzu, but what about makeup? See, ultimately you're wearing hijab, you're wearing all of that, but women still wear makeup.
The question is very appropriate.
So it's a little bit of a...
No, I'll need to clarify. The word hijab means dibar, means something as a barrier between two individuals, a male and a female in this context. Hijab in itself is a barrier. So hijab does not mean burqa. A person can be wearing burqa, but not in hijab also. Hijab means a person is creating a barrier between two individuals, meaning in this context, a man should not get attracted. That's the point. I mean, you try your best to not lure him up, as you rightly said. But at the same time, I would like to say that hijab is also part of your eyes. There's a hijab of the eyes, hijab of your heart, hijab of your thought, hijab of your walk, and hijab of your dress.
Right.
The hijab of the dress is just one aspect, but hijab of the heart is also there. Hijab of the eyes is there. And hijab of the eyes is for both men and women.
Yeah.
The Quran says in Surah An-Nur, say to the believing men, first is to the believing men, that they lower their gaze and guard their modesty.
Very good.
That's the first thing. And then to the women, say to the believing women that they lower their gaze and guard their modesty. And in fact, during the initial times of the revelation to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when the Quran was being revealed, that time there was no injunction, immediate injunction or command to say the women have to be in hijab or whatsoever. Because it came in stages, and God Almighty knew how much the people were ready to follow, and accordingly God Almighty, He revealed the verses. If
but
one
then
take,
in that case, Islam also says correct those who are going on the wrong path.
Of course. How has to be that correction done?
How?
The correction is in very simple words. You know, the Quran says, "Udu'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmah." Invite mankind to the way of your Lord with wisdom and fair preaching, and argue with them in the ways that is best and most gracious. And it has to be full of wisdom and sweetness, and it has to be like how Moses, may peace be upon him, when God Almighty said, go and talk to Pharaoh, the Pharaoh. He said, talk to him, kaulan layyina. Talk to him words of kindness. Even to a tyrant, you need to be kind and polite in the way you are presenting the case.
Right.
So the trolling, besides whatever it is, you know, whether it is advice or whatever, the trolling nature of the humankind, and I don't want to say that is not appropriate, first and foremost.
Right.
So that's where I'm getting at.
So you're saying the ones who are blaming Irfan Pathan for not being Muslim enough are themselves not being the right Muslim example there. A right Muslim example. We have a few more women joining us to tell us a little more on how Muslim do they feel with or without the hijab. After a quick break, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Going back, let's move over to Munazza. Sweet, pretty Munazza joins us, who's a lawyer herself. Munazza, you wear the scarf. You also wear lipstick and eyeliner, and you look lovely. You look so beautiful the way you are. Tell me about your choices, and what would you think? What would be your comment to this particular picture?
Well, as a Muslim and from my family, I've always had to fight for my hijab. I've always had to convince people to let me wear the hijab.
Really?
Not only in my family, in my school when I went for my Aadhaar card, I had to fight with them. No, you have to let me wear the hijab. So that was my experience.
That's nice. Okay.
So I've always been very.
Why, what did your mom and dad say to you when you wanted to wear
when I started very young. So my mom was like, "Are you sure? You shouldn't get in and then get out of it."
Yeah, don't be forced into it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you should know what you're getting into. It is a big commitment. So I've always had to fight for my hijab, and I can always, this trolling that you see it in this form here, right? Where they say, why is she wearing nail polish? Why is this happening? But when you go to a country like France, you see people not letting them wear the hijab, and there the women are fighting for the hijab. So what I would like to say is it's religion, and just let us do what we want to do. If you want to wear the hijab, let us wear the hijab. It's none of your business, right? As a third person, you are not allowed to comment on that. And also, this has already been highlighted already, that in Islam there is a way of telling a person how to do if you see something is wrong, something which you think is against Islam, there is a particular way you tell that person. You're supposed to approach that person in secret. Anytime you see something wrong in a person, there is a hadith which says, don't do it publicly. Don't tell the evil about a person publicly, but do it privately. But when there's something good about a person, then you talk about it publicly. That's what Islam says. And that's that is not what you see in the trolling.
Yeah, that's obviously not the right way of reminding Irfan that he's not Muslim enough. Understandable.
And basically, it's not your business. It's him, his wife, and it's their choice. And another thing I want to say is the hypocrisy here, where the entire controversy is about the nail color, but she's also wearing kajal, which is also part of makeup. And because kajal is considered culturally okay in our country, nobody's talking about that. Not only here, otherwise also when we go for weddings, as you say, if you're wearing kajal on, it's okay. That is okay because it's
part
culturally.
Of our culture,
yeah, exactly. But when it's against our culture, that's actually when they go.
So nail polish is not in our culture. Kajal is across.
According to these people, that's why they get really aggressive when they talk about kajal and lipstick and all of that.
But a little bit of explanation as to when you decided to wear a hijab, you still choose to wear your lipstick, your eyeliner, and you like to dress up a little bit in spite of you covering your hair and wearing full-sleeved kurtas, right? So how did you strike that balance, and were you questioned for it?
Nabila, the thing is, in today's world, presentation is very, very important. And I'm a working woman, and I've seen it firsthand. I've experienced it, how people react to you when you're correctly, you present yourself nicely.
Well put together,
right?
absolutely.
Exactly. So for me, my makeup is me presenting myself better. So lipstick has become a part of our culture now. You know, it's not before it used to be considered for a particular group of people, lipstick and making
Makeup
yourself
altogether,
but now that's not the case. It's become a very common thing, and that's why I would do it, because for me presentation is important.
And why did you choose to cover your hair then?
Because I so many years of hijab, I've seen the advantages of wearing a hijab, and I like it, and it's something which is part of my religion. I wear bangles, which is part of my culture, and hijab, which is part of my religion.
Nice, very nice. You were about to say something, Umar?
Yeah, with respect to the lipstick, because she just stopped. At some point in time, some people were identified wearing the lipstick, and therefore nowadays things have changed. So what do you mean by some point in time? What were the kind of people you were reflecting? I mean, you were talking about.
I don't want to take names.
No. I just want to take, because she is very shy to say. Actually, it was really considered even amongst other cultures, not only the Muslim cultures, even the Western cultures, to wear lipstick and come in front of the public was not something which was appreciated even by them. Because it was one section whom we say like they're not the appropriate examples they used to wear. So now things have changed. See, what has happened, we have gone through a lot of history and how things started. There were times when people even were shying to wear even the dress that we see in Wimbledon, what we see now.
Yeah.
The Western women were shying to wear that.
Yes, yes.
So we have passed through a stage, and now the Muslim community, we are still going back to 1400 years, 1450 years. We haven't left the history. We are maintaining the history. We are going by what the Prophet has said. So therefore, we are referring back to what the Quran is saying, what the Hadith is saying. Therefore, we have to say what the rulings on kajal or the rulings on lipstick, we have to say.
We have to interpret it.
We have to say according to the historical references, according to what the Prophet has said, the proofs.
But is it haram?
It is not per se. See, the thing is, there are different things. Lipstick, I am told that it has got a fat which is mixed.
No. Now there are lipstick without fat.
Yeah, now
there are lipstick without
that's
fat.
That's
also,
where.
Yeah.
Now the thing, there was a saying that
they
have mixed pork, fat
in it, but now it's not.
Now it's not.
Now there are lipsticks because a lot of Arab women use a lot of lipstick.
So
a lot of Arab women use lipstick. The makeup industry itself came out with a line of lipstick without any animal fat.
That's right.
It was to cater to Muslim women.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now what I'm trying to say, if the same fatwa was asked as a ruling about 100 years ago, when there is no alternative and when there is only pig fat being used in the lipstick, they would have said it is haram. But now when you say there is an alternative, then the ruling will change accordingly. They would say it is not haram for you to wear in front of your close relatives and the women folk, but when you're going out in front of men, stay away from that. That is the rulings of the orthodox scholars.
Why does it say stay? While you're inside you can wear it, outside you can't?
Inside, your husband is there, your son is there,
your family,
daughters and all
you're
that.
You're not luring anyone there, but you're going
outside. Outside when you're going, you make sure that you don't seem very attractive to the other person. That's what it is.
You should make sure that you don't look attractive to the opposite gender.
See, that's the right thing.
That's what.
See, one thing, Islam is a very balanced religion. The Quran says, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. We have made you as a median people. You are a moderate people. The Quran says the Muslims are the most moderate people. You know why? They are religious, yet they are engaging in worldly life. Meaning, like for instance, Deen and Dunya is there. Yeah. Like if you see the religious community from the Christian folks, you find the nuns covering themselves, but they don't get married. Here you have the religious women who are there almost in the same dress, same attire, but they get married, they raise children, they can also engage in business. So there is a balance, there is religiosity attached with worldly life.
Yeah, right.
So that is why the Quran says, you are the moderate people. Quran says you are moderate in every aspect. You do business, come on, you do tijara. Don't take riba, don't take usury.
Do it the right way. Do it ethically, do it honestly, sincerely.
Yeah.
That's what it means. All right. Let's quickly come over to the two other ladies joining us after a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're coming over. Let's quickly go over to Nagma joining us. Nagma is a stylist herself and says she's as much a Muslim than anybody else is on this panel here or anywhere else for that matter. Nagma does not wear a hijab, but she's modestly dressed. She wears a salwar, covers her arms, whatnot, likes to wear makeup, and she is a woman of today and she believes that she's doing nothing wrong. Nagma, your take on this picture.
But I don't understand why only Irfan Pathan is targeted for this. Why his wife? Why only because of nail polish? What is wrong? I don't understand. It is only because of the wazoo you are not allowed the nail polish. Otherwise, it's nothing connecting with Islam not to wear nail polish. Like our people think that something I don't know, because he is they have not pointed out any film star out of it, any Khans, their wives. They have not pointed out for that. But why only Irfan Pathan? So they should have something in their minds going only to target Irfan Pathan's wife. They never think that she was a model first. So they are not talking about that. But they are not appreciating what she's come back with.
Right. She's wearing a hijab now. That's great transformation, but that's not being looked into at all.
Yes.
She
has all the right to groom
makeup.
herself. Yes. So I think people should see that when a movie is released, whichever the Khan is, which kind of people are there in the movie, the first day, first show. So that is not pointed out. So
what kind of people are there in a Khan movie, first day, first show?
Yeah, our Muslims are the one who are there with the families.
After namaz.
Yes.
Friday namaz, after namaz, straight going, go watch a Salman Khan movie. That's that, right?
Tickets are already booked.
And Salman Khan is romancing with the hottest of hot models, and all our people, quite a few of them, maybe with topis also whistling.
Yes,
right.
Obviously.
Right. I'm sure you would have seen that. I've seen that outside theatres. Right after Friday namaz, they go. So what sort of hypocrisy are we looking at?
I don't think so. Anything is wrong with this. I really didn't understand. Being a Muslim, anything is wrong with wearing a nail polish for her. But why only she is targeted for this? There's no issue about wearing a nail polish. So why only she is targeted for nail polish? So many people wear. It is nothing written in Islam that you are not allowed to do, groom yourself. It is said that you can groom yourself. It is nowhere written that you cannot groom yourself being a Muslim. Hijab is a part of your thing. If you like, you can do it. It's only said that, okay, you are not allowed to wear sort of clothes where we have been taught. So I think not more than that.
Well, how would you deal with anybody coming to you in your family and saying that, for your profession for that matter, you groom people.
Yes.
Nagma, you're a stylist. She's not Muslim.
No, I think
because I've got that many times that I'm not Muslim, but I choose to ignore because I know what faith you have in your heart. Your connect with
that is more important for me.
What you have and what you share. So I'm obviously not going to buckle under pressure, but my point is that that's your choice. But how would you react and respond to them?
I would not care. I would not care because I believe in Islam from my heart and mind. That is more important.
You pray.
Yes, I do my namaz. I teach my children what is Islam. We read Quran. We know about it. That is more important. So many other activities are going on with Muslims. So many play out countries. People are doing so many things. That is not being targeted. That nobody is there to stand and talk about that. For so many people, so many things happening. But only for a silly thing, that is nail polish.
Let's go over to Nazima. Nazima, if you can tell us, Nazima, you're an image consultant. You call yourself Muslim. You believe in the religion, whatnot. But you've made your choices.
Right.
Can you explain what would you see
and
through that picture?
I would like to tell you, off late I just participated in Mrs. Bharat Icon, and I won 2 subtitles for mesmerizing eyes and beautiful face. So I have always received mixed reviews and so-called comments. There are people, they are going to keep talking and they're going to say different things. For me, being a Muslim in the first place is being honest. Being honest to myself and to the world. I always say, I say my namaz 5 times. The people's reaction, oh my God, you're saying namaz. It was as though I'm going to the church. Okay, fine.
I don't believe you pray namaz. I somehow get that myself.
The whole thing is psychological. We have this block in our heads. Judging people by the way they dressed up. Now, once we get rid of that, I think everything else is revealed. Now, coming to the picture, what I see, it's a selfie, man. Come on, it was a playful moment. And what I see, suppose if I have to interpret, she doesn't want to be clicked. If I can say that, and she's just covering. So, because eyes are allowed in Islam, if people ulama would know better, okay, hijab, the eyes are allowed. So maybe she's just revealing that. And nail polish, maybe she would have said her salah and then put nail polish.
Right.
So first of all, judging her on the basis of that selfie is totally wrong.
It's not right.
Second, the people who are on the troll, why are they there? You are, and as Sheikh said, lower your gaze, says the Quran. Why are you staring at her so much? And then you're seeing about her nail polish, you're talking about her makeup,
and
her arms.
and she's got the hijab, the burqa till here. It's just from the elbow to here that's a little visible, and that too is an issue.
True. And so basically these are the people who are stalking her so much, and they're so attracted, and they're forcing, and they cannot see, and they want to see more of her. That's what I feel. And so, you know, they are telling Irfan Pathan so many things. And coming to Irfan Pathan, he himself goes and plays cricket, and there are so many women who must be like, I used to be a great fan of Irfan Pathan. And my daughter always says, Mom, I want someone like him, I want to get married. So is that okay? Is that okay for Irfan Pathan to, you know, go out and win so many fans and nobody says anything to him? So basically it's the woman, you see. So eventually women are targets. And why Muslim women more? Because first of all, that woman, we have to respect her. She's wearing a hijab in the society, and she's away from that limelight. That itself is a great commitment, what she's doing to herself, and she's a perfect idol, I feel. She's a perfect idol, and then you
she's transformed and
exactly from where to what. And as she said, like, it's been her journey, and she still has, she's quite bold, and she's with her husband. Why are those points not being saying? They just want to slam Irfan Pathan for, you know, you should keep your woman, your jewel at home. Why can't he go out for a drive and take a selfie? You unfriend Irfan Pathan. You're not happy.
And I saw some sort of comments that saying that she's not an actor, she's not a movie personality. Why should you display her?
Yeah, so that means movie personalities and actors and women like us are okay. You can just post our pictures and lure us. No, that is such a wrong thinking. So it's basically when we stop judging people, we stop making statements like this. And education does a lot. And Sheikh has...
Do you feel any less Muslim by not wearing a hijab?
Absolutely not. I never felt so, because each time...
Has anybody made you feel that?
Yes, they have. Like, as you are rightly said, I don't believe you wear you do your salah. So, you know, I mean, I feel bad about it, but then it's okay. But then it's just okay. It's perfectly all right.
It's perfectly all right. Okay, coming over to...
I need to comment on this.
Yeah, please go.
I need to, because... See, as the sister said, that one of the sisters, she said that she has fought her way out to be in hijab. You know, there was a time when I had to go through a process to sport the beard. The immediate people whom I had to confront was my own close relatives.
Yes.
Now, at that point in time, as the sister was saying, let me be so clear. I was walking on the ramp. You know, I was walking on the ramp.
Yeah, you were a model, of course. How could I forget? Umar Shariff was a model. He was a model.
I was walking with Sri Krupa Murali and Karishma Rao and all of them.
Wow.
Okay. And when I used to walk, as she was saying, I should be in muzzle fit and all that. When it was time for Maghrib, I used to pray. No matter what. See, the thing is, the thing in the heart, faith, don't judge what is there in the heart by what you see outside of it. Because sometimes the people with the image, good image, they may be the wrong people also. But at the same time, I would say, do not belittle the aspects of the outer appearance, because these are also from the injunctions. As a Muslim, we are supposed to adopt as much as possible, and according to your own strength. Don't get forced by people. Don't bog down to people's comments, but at the same time, you reflect to your own self, see what is good for you, and adopt accordingly.
You know, but Omar and all of you be very. I'm not obviously not putting a blanket, making a blanket statement here, but from what I've observed quite more often than not is while like say for example, I walk into a wedding, right? There are people, mixed people. There are people in burqa and in just scarf, and who don't have a scarf or hijab, who are modernly dressed, all kinds of people. The people who are modernly dressed are going, talking to people, mingling, probably eating, having fun with them, all that. The people who are in burqa are sitting clannish, okay, and they're sitting with each other and sitting and talking about how the others are not following the way they are following, and how, and gossip, my God, to the point of all you know, the entire while they're sitting. Why? Because they can't walk around, they're not going and meeting people, they're not doing all of that. They're sitting and they're only talking about this. Inka baal, inka ye, inka wo, inka lipstick, Allah, ye, wo, what not. So that's what I say, that is the biggest sin in Islam, to gossip. You're not supposed to gossip, but you still look and comment and you talk and you think that you are a better Muslim than somebody else is. Yes, Aisha.
I think what you just said is very, very right. And that is not how a hijabi woman is supposed to portray herself. Like how people are trolling to say a person who is a Muslim is not supposed to act publicly like this by showing off his wife's best assets. As of now, it is a nail polished hand. Okay. Now, this is exactly what they're talking about. This is exactly what Islam says don't do. If you want to reach across to people, there are better ways to reach across to them, but don't do this to people. Don't demean, somebody's, prestige by, calling them names, or, by just saying that your attire is bad. That is not the way you get across your message. Now, people who you say are sitting in those wedding halls, completely covered and commenting, are the people who are earning the biggest of sins. Okay, because that's exactly what is happening. We have heard a real story from our grandparent, where it was said that a lady who was a 5-time namazi used to look into her neighbor's house. The neighbor was a prostitute. She used to keep count of the number of men coming and going out of her house. Okay, end of the day, when both of them passed away, it was said that all her doings were, were interchanged only because of this lady's nosiness. If you want to correct the other lady, you please walk up and you pass on your message in a very nice manner.
Polite way. And beyond that, can you force?
You cannot. You cannot force. See, you have to have so much of conviction of Islam in you. You must know how to convince people. Okay, we are all moderate followers of Islam. We don't still have it in us to convince a person that you are supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do this. The best of Maulanas, that you see there today on YouTube passing on message, most of them have that conviction.
Right.
And I would say that I am, we have people like Tariq Jamil, okay, we have people like Noman Ali. All these people, Mufti Menk, they are people who pass on that message. They have so much of knowledge in them and they know how to deliver, most importantly. Their deliverance is most important, and that's exactly what gets into us.
How you pass on the message. But I'd like to know if at all, in the first place, forcing somebody to take up hijab or to cover yourself, does that even work? And we see that happening in a lot of households. Of course, they say that if I don't impart that knowledge to my family, I will not get Jannah, I will go to hell, I will burn in hell, and therefore I have to make my family follow the guidelines that Islam has set. So does force really work? We'll slip into a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're coming back to if force really works in Muslim houses. Of course, well, I know that my dad tried his best to put me in line, but eventually gave up. But I'm not saying I feel any less. Like I said, I do all my namaz, I do all of that, but I feel that it's better for me, it's more convenient for me without it to be part of the corporate world. And like I said, I do not have the courage like possibly the both of you have to actually have taken it up and still excel in your respective careers. I don't have the courage. Okay, you may have, I don't. But does force work?
Force will never work, because I've seen girls, as an image consultant, they do come to me, they come wearing hijab, and it's in the bag, actually. The minute they get out of the house, they either go to their friends' houses, change, wear jeans. So you see what...
This is a classic example.
So,
yes.
First you are imposing and then you're leading them to lie, teaching them how to lie. Instead of, asking them to be more honest, and then give them some time. I mean, you can just tell them, okay, speak about the hijab, give them some, think about it, because thinking they'll get back to you. Like, Mom, why is hijab important? What is it? Then you can just give them examples of our Prophet's wives, and when was the ayat of parda, why, in which halat it was come, and we are following the sunnah of wives of Prophet. So these are the things, and force will never work. This is what I have to say.
Force never works.
Impossible.
Would you all agree the same?
Force
Nagma?
never works. Yes, never works.
No, force doesn't work.
Never
Aisha?
works. Never works.
What about you?
No, force doesn't work, and also what the sad part is when you talk about hijab in Islam, the surah and the ayah, one of the ayahs which talk about hijab, the very next ayah talks about hijab for men, or the previous ayah, the next ayah, I'm not very sure. And sadly, we only see parents talking to their daughters or relatives talking to the women in the family.
Don't do that.
Wear hijab and yeah. They never talk about the other ayah which talks about men and their hijab. We never see mothers going to their sons and saying, you know, you're not supposed to look at a woman in a certain way. You're not supposed to objectify women.
Very true.
All of that doesn't happen, which is the sad part. Islam talks equally about it. To both men and women, and only the women, the part where they talk about women is the one which is highlighted.
Absolutely. And you know what I've seen often, I mean, this is what I've seen, and I'm not going to go back on my word. A lot of Muslim boys will tell their own wives, sisters, you know, mothers, whatnot, to either don't go here, don't go there, ye pehno, wo pehno ko. But outside, if they're friends of different religion, they're hanging with their arm on them, hanging out, chilling, you know, whatnot. And whatever that girl is wearing, it's cool, but yeah, as long as it's not my religion. I mean, does that even work like that? If you're respecting a woman, asking your own women in your own house to follow certain guidelines, you don't have to tell the other women, but is it okay that you go and chill with your legs spread and your arms on them just because they're not a Muslim woman? Is that okay?
That's haram.
That's haram.
Irrespective of whom he is going to, you know, move around or, you know, party around, it's totally haram in Islam for anybody to even touch another strange woman's hand, in the strange, unrelated person. The Islam gives very clear commands as to how one has to sit also. You can't sit, you know, in a confinement with another individual of an opposite gender alone, because the Prophet ﷺ said the third person is Satan, because you are not allowed to sit alone with another person who is not related to you. So there are clear conditions as to how one has to move around. See, the thing about forcing, I would say imposing. Forcing may not be there, but in a family, there are elders who would want to impose their belief systems onto the children.
It happens often, and it happens
That is almost
across.
there in every culture.
Yes.
But what I would say, they are not understanding the psychology. On one end, they are sending their children to the convent education where they are made to wear the skirts which reveal their thighs and, I mean, almost the knees. And at the other end, they want their children to, when they're going out, they want them to be in hijab. It doesn't work that way.
Correct.
So I would talk to them saying that if at all you have an intention
of
them to
like
be,
that,
try to understand what goes into their system. The way they are raised, right from the time in the schools and colleges, that has their permanent or almost a strong impact on them. Therefore, my daughter, you know, she is in her 8th standard, and right from the beginning, she has seen her mother in hijab, and she in the school also sees in hijab. Now, if I were to tell her, you come out without a hijab, she will say, Papa, why are you doing this to me? I want to be in hijab. She would say that. So what I am saying is, we can't blame the individual. You have to blame the elders who are not raising up in the way that they want it. See, it's up to, at the end of the day, it's a personal choice how you want it.
I mean, of course, and it's a mixed world. We're living in a mixed society. Islamic countries, of course, are different. When you're in an Islamic country, you are influenced by the kind of surroundings. It's easier for you to maintain that. But when you're in a mixed surrounding, you're influenced by all sorts of people, right? So it's, you know, if the strongest of the strongest ones would probably maintain their or follow their what they believe in, and the ones will slip in, will give in to the worldly you know, excitement. That's what they say, worldly excitement, right? That's what they call it.
At the end of the day, we are not the judge.
We are not the judge.
Judge is the creator.
He is the judge. So don't force anybody, don't push, don't stuff it down somebody's throat just because you believe in it. Allow somebody to grow with it. I think it should be more organic than forced. Let's quickly take in, before we wrap, Zulfi calling in from Fraser Town. Go on, Zulfi. What do you have to share?
Hi, Nabila.
Hi.
Yeah, I have a very simple question.
Yes.
And now, if this controversy is building up only because she is wearing nail polish and the hijab at the same time, why can't she choose one?
Right.
Yeah, because both don't seem to go along well. If she's trying to be a good Muslim, she has to go only with the hijab. If she wants to be a modern Muslim, let it be.
Right.
Nothing else.
Right. So I didn't quite get your point.
So if she's trying to be a good Muslim, she should do without the nail polish. If you're trying to be a staunch Muslim. Now she's trying to do both, nail polish and the hijab together.
Okay.
That is what is the confusing part.
Okay. All right. I'd like any one of you, the ones to explain. Yes, please.
Okay. Now, see, this is not a snap that was taken for the public. This was a very personal moment, and probably Irfan wanted to share it with his friends.
Well, it's put up on
or
Facebook.
whatever.
I mean, that's quite obvious.
Now that got so public, and that is taking all of our attention. And I got to know Sabah very clearly now. Before this, I never even knew who she was. I got to see her face. I got to know her background better. See, now the caller's basically question was,
how can she be
how
doing
can hijab
both?
and
She's
this one
doing
go together?
hijab and
Okay.
she's wearing makeup and nail polish, and so it's a mix of both.
You know,
so what
it
does that
is
mean?
just a proximity that, you know, they're just coming out of a function and she's wearing her hijab.
For example, what about daily goers?
Okay, daily goers, basically, like I said, it is not a haram thing for anybody to wear a nail polish. Okay, as a hijabi, I'm not wearing it now because I have to do my namaz. Okay, probably if I don't have to do my namaz, I might sport it. Okay, depends on my choice. It is me. Okay, but then that's exactly where it was, probably with this innocent snap that was taken. I think we should leave it at that. It is not like hijab does not go with the thing. It is hijab is not all about covering, you know, yourself from top to bottom. Probably she would reach that stage if somebody is polite enough to take her to that stage. Okay, if somebody is polite enough to take her to that stage, probably she will be completely covered one day. You know, you and I might not be able to see that coming, but you know, from a model to a hijabi is a big, like I said, I've been repeating this.
It's already a big step.
It's already a big leap. Okay, now let the woman be, let the woman breathe, give her a break. Okay, maybe she will reach there. If we are not there to just discourage her now.
Absolutely. A quick take from Muni on that. What's this mix that the caller asked? I mean, if you want to do it correctly, what's the mix about? You wear hijab and you put your makeup.
I just don't understand why. I mean, I'm going back to the first point I was talking about. It's their personal choice. And there are so many things that we do have to talk about, which we have to discuss about. That is happening, current affairs, all the lynching that's happening, and all those extra hatred that and hate propaganda that's happening. Discuss about those things, you know, make a fuss about those things, and come out and talk about those things. These are not the things that you have to.
Not the issues. Again, I'll make the same point.
And,
mix of both.
Yeah, mix of both. Actually, his point is, why is she a mix of both? Actually, it's a healthy mix of both, if I have to see. And then he's discouraging her. Like, why is she wearing hijab? Now, see, if she has to take it the other way, she might just remove the hijab and she might just, you know. So, who's responsible for that? When you make such comments and such statements. So, let me be and don't try to alter me. Much ado about nothing, Shakespeare.
But does that mean, I mean, does your hijab become, you know, not invalid or not worthy if you wear lipstick and nail polish under your hijab?
No way, no way.
Nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
But if there's people say, right, if you're doing it, might as well do it correctly. Why do you have to wear lipstick and hijab?
Isn't it better to do something than nothing at all? Isn't it better to walk a few steps, then take back and just sit there and do nothing at all?
Absolutely.
So
Islam
it's a gradual progress.
Farhan, yeah.
Islam says very clearly, if you don't like it, you pray for them. You go and pray for them. If you think like God will guide them. You are thinking, no, they are good, not doing as per the Islam. Best thing, you are following, perfect, 100%, very good. Alhamdulillah, you follow. And do the dua for others. That Islam says.
Pray for those who have lost their way. The
and
other,
then keep quiet.
And
your
keep
duty
quiet.
is
You should keep quiet. Don't.
You are nowhere
interfere
to say
into somebody
anything.
else's.
You have to keep quiet and pray for them. That's all. Finish.
And a lot of times that I've seen, before I wrap here, barely a minute, a lot of times I've seen people go all the way, right? You know, they go to Mecca, it changed them, they come back a different person, they followed it, they're wearing hijab, whatnot, all of that for some time, then suddenly there's a flip. Like, quite literally flip to the point of nothing, no hijab, then back to their old, you know, jeans and pant and, you know, all that, modern life. What does that mean? And how?
See,
it's a mix up. See, you want to take that? Yeah.
See, I work with a corporate for 22 years. Okay, I was working with the Star TV. I was working in National Geographic. When you go to my floor, you feel like you enter the perfume shop. That much attraction, because more than 100 girls are working there with the model dress and all this thing.
Yeah.
For me, it took more than 15 to 20 years to change myself.
Okay.
Okay, people guided me. People used to, and see, don't put this, people go in suffocation. People used to come and put me in corner. Farhan, what are you doing wrong?
Why are you growing a dadi?
Yeah,
why
this,
you?
that.
Yeah, why you?
But it
becoming an extremist.
Yeah.
That's.
So it is that time you need a support. Either you are men or women. Okay, if you are in that period coming out from that different world to the Islamic follower, then definitely you need entire people support, not a comment like this.
Correct.
If you comment like that, people come back and go to what they used to do.
Sister said the same.
Yeah, it is very easy to pass comment, and those who are passing the comment, I'm telling 100% they are not following 50% Islam also.
Very true. Very true. I think that itself should explain it all. We'll slip into a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're coming back to, if at all, like we were saying, people going back and coming back to their modern ways. Is that how do you deal with that, and how do you encourage them, or
No, it's also mainly because two reasons. One, any atmosphere, any ambience, when you go and you hear a speech, it's not just a religious speech or anything else. You are actually, your mind absorbs that for some time, and then you're living by it. Even if you watch a good movie for that matter, you sleep over it. But then eventually you sleep over it. That's because you have taken it as a movie, okay, not as a reality. Same thing when now Mecca and everyone's doing that atmosphere is such. So when you come back to India, it's a free country,
right,
okay, and then chakachaun yahan ki,
yeah,
or there's so much of exposure, and then there are people who are also discouraging you.
Yeah.
So chuvi kha ke billi haj ko chali gayi. You know, all these things, it plays on their mind, so they are trying to fit
Say
in
that
the
again.
society.
That's quite funny. Can I?
That's what got
How does
commented
that
to me
say?
also.
What
सौ
is
सौ
that?
चूहे
What
खा
tell
के
me that?
100 चूहे खा के बिल्ली हज को चली.
That is so true.
This
Yeah,
is
that's
all the
hilarious.
time women hear this. So instead of encouraging them, like how beautiful you're looking in this hijab, you know, when you say this, she becomes a rebel. I was better off without it. Now say I'm going to eat more chuhas. So this is how it happens to them. And also because, see, that is why the reinforcement is very important. Because I was listening to Maulana Tariq Jamil. So he said, now you'll feel all good and then you'll suddenly go and pray, but after some time again you'll forget.
Yeah.
So that is why you got to keep revisiting, read the Quran, read the Hadith, and keep reinforcement is very important in anything. So when that happens, I don't think people who once change from their heart, then nothing changes them back to it.
Absolutely.
It is not
If
just
they
a
change,
month
if
of-
they change truly from the
Yes.
heart, nothing changes
Nothing
them
changes
back.
them.
That's very
It
well
is
said.
not just a pilgrimage that does to you. I mean, we have this holy month of Ramzan that also cleanses us from inside out, literally. Okay,
Right.
Your body is cleansed because it is, it is losing out toxins.
Right.
And so is your heart that is being cleansed because you are trying to be patient. Most of the people are so drained out that they can't talk, so they don't talk bullshit. So, and then you yourself know that because you are fasting, you don't want to badmouth anybody
Correct.
because that is
so
going to
Ramzan's
take
the
away
time
all
that
the-
you cleanse yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we are supposed to, they say if your Ramzan is good, so will your year be. Okay, so you have to make sure that you practice a very good month of Ramzan. Make sure that you stay away from bitching about people. It's, you stay away from lying to people and all these things, and make that your life for the months to come. So this will actually improvise us, all of us as human beings.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
So all of us invariably are going to impact the community. So we are talking about not just benefiting us, we're talking about by and large influencing the community that we are living in. So I think it is a message that all of us have to understand. Okay, and I think it is not just about the trip that we have made to Hajj and then people flipping off. It is about this as well.
A little bit, I'll come back after a quick caller here. There's a general perception that Muslims are very angry people. Just very angry people. I want you to clarify that a little bit. Ajit, let's go over to Ajit from Pune joining us on the phone line. Go on, Ajit.
Hello, Ajit from Pune.
Yes, Ajit.
I'll tell you about one funny incident.
Yes, please.
With my wife, we were traveling in train.
Right.
And there were 3 Muslim ladies sitting in front of us with black burqa.
Yeah.
And believe me, when we were traveling,
Yeah.
they were not wearing that head, they were not taking cover on head. But as soon as the station came, all 3, they put the cover on and closed their head, etc.
Right.
As they thought their acquaintances or relations will come to the platform.
Yeah.
And that's why they covered their head. And I'll tell you that none of these housewives or ladies who are in the Muslim houses can openly admit or say that they don't love going without burqa. They cannot. And I was staying in Middle East country. We used to visit our Arab friends. When we used to go to them, their wives used to sit inside, and then our friends used to call them, come out, no problem. This is Hindi has come, so come out. So the ladies used to come, and then they mix up with us, men and women. So this is what the thing is. You see, it is not all the Muslim ladies, they are doing it willingly or freely.
Right.
So what the panelists have to say about it?
Right. That's absolutely a point that we were trying to make again, that there is a considerable amount of force that happens, and most women, which is why Nazima said, that they wear it inside. The moment they step out, they take it off. And here also, like he said, example, in the train, they had the burqas on, but the head scarf was off, and they were enjoying, and then the moment they reach, they put it on while getting off to the station.
This is exactly what happens when you're really forcing it down somebody's gullet without trying to pass it on by talking to them about the pros of wearing a hijab. If somebody is made to feel like a caged bird under the under a hijab, she is going to want to be liberated. She would want to just shun it and just walk on without it.
Correct.
That's exactly, if you're going to make her feel that way, if your approach to her is going to be about how nice she looks, okay, with a hijab, and how beautiful she looks with a hijab, she's still a woman who has a feeling. She's still a woman who can do whatever she wants in terms of education, in terms of her rights as a citizen of the country, or as a woman of the house, as a mother, as a wife, whatever. If you're going to make her feel that way, I think this two-faced image of a lady who wants to wear hijab in front of her family and then just wants to take it off at the first given chance will be less.
This is what will be the example. Let's quickly take in Murthy calling in from Chennai. Go on, Murthy. Murthy, please reduce the volume of your television and go on. Murthy,
good
can you
evening,
hear
madam.
us?
Regarding what we have to... No, what is the topic I have to tell? That is what I want to know. I don't know exactly what is it going on.
Murthy, thank you so much for joining us, Murthy, and watching us. Thank you so much for your support. All right, okay, on a quick note, we spoke about, angry people. We spoke about how, generally there's this perception of Muslims being very tough and very hard about their religion, and they're to the point that they force their women, they force their men, they make it so close to them, which is why a few birds here and there secretly fly away. And that's sort of not bringing a good name clearly to the community. How would you balance it out, and what would you say to that?
It is a frustration of the person who is not believing Islam himself. Okay, he is taking out the frustration on the family members or friend or relative by passing the comment. It's simple, because he is not able to follow it. So, okay, you wear the burqa, you do this, you don't do that. First of all, you see that what you are doing. Are you following entire your life with the Sunnat and Quranic style? Suppose you are working in the corporate world and you have the boss tension. When you go office, you put your laptop, katak, you close the door, no smile face.
Correct.
You want to show entire anger to your wife. That is called Islam.
That's not.
That is not. The problem is that this angerness, because he is not balanced person. Either he is not following the Islam,
or you're extremely doing it to the point you're interpreting your own
or you're trying to, my wife, my family has to follow total Islam, and you don't want to do that. Let's balance entire your entire deen is, you have to take dunya also, or Quran and Hadith also together.
Correct.
You cannot go only Quran and Hadith, take pajama kurta, dadi, topi, no, will not become a Islamic.
Correct. That itself is a wrong approach. On a quick word, you were completing, I'll wrap with you.
Yeah. See, basically, we cannot judge people by what they're wearing. Though it was said earlier, you can judge a person by what he's wearing.
Yes.
But nowadays, it's not so. Because I have seen many cases where women in niqab, when they get into certain places, they are not in niqab.
Yeah.
And when they are with their boyfriends, while they are not their, husbands or whatever, they don't want to be cited by anyone.
So therefore they wear a niqab.
This case is also to be addressed.
Very
it is
true.
happening.
I think
we cannot judge anybody by what they are
cannot judge the book by its cover. Thank you so much for joining us. Very, very well spoken, all of you. It's such a. It was really, really nice to know so many different versions of the same religion and how all of you still feel united with the same faith to one God. Thank you so much for joining us. We understand that nothing happens by force. If it's organic, you believe in it with your heart, then you will do it better. So don't judge its cover by its book. Keep your trolls to yourself. Thank you so much.